Chapter 1. The Forgotten Strings. The morning light filtered through the half-open blinds of a small apartment in the city. Ethan Reed, 47, sat by the window with a cup of coffee and a sigh that felt heavier than his years. Once, he had been a dreamer, a boy with a guitar and a notebook full of songs. He'd believed he was destined to change the world with his music. But life had its own plans. Bills, family, work. And before he knew it, 25 years had gone by. He now worked as an assistant manager at a hardware store. His days filled with invoices and phone calls. His guitar leaned against the wall, untouched, like a ghost of who he used to be. That morning while cleaning, he found a dusty brown notebook wedged behind an old box. On its cover, written in faded ink, "Dreams for Tomorrow, Ethan Reed, 1998. He smiled bitterly. Tomorrow never came, did it? He opened it, and the first line hit him hard. If I ever stop believing in myself, may these words remind me who I am. He stared at those words for a long time. Something in his chest stirred, like the faint echo of a song he'd forgotten how to sing. Chapter 2. The Stranger with the Guitar. Later that evening, while walking home, Ethan passed by a small street performance. A young man, maybe 20, was singing his heart out to a small crowd. His voice was raw, powerful, full of life. Ethan stopped, drawn in. After the show, the young man noticed him lingering. "Hey, sir, did you like the song?" "It was amazing," Ethan said honestly. "You've got something real there." "Thanks," the boy smiled. "I'm Ryan, trying to make it big someday." "Someday," Ethan echoed, smiling sadly. "I used to say that too." Ryan tilted his head. "Used to?" Ethan nodded. "Had dreams once, but life got in the way." Ryan grinned. "Life gets in everyone's way, sir. That's why we gotta keep pushing through it." That sentence stayed with Ethan all night. We gotta keep pushing through it. Chapter 3. The Spark Returns. The next morning, Ethan took out his guitar. The strings were rusted, the sound off-key. But as he strummed, something came alive inside him. The music was clumsy at first, his fingers stiff, his rhythm broken. But with every note, memories returned. Late-night rehearsals, laughter with his old bandmates, dreams of playing under bright lights. He stayed up all night, rewriting one of his old songs from the notebook. Dreams don't age. They just wait for us to remember. When he played the last note, tears rolled down his cheeks. For the first time in years, he didn't feel old. He felt alive. Chapter 4. The Fear of Trying Again. The next day, Ethan told his daughter Maya, now 21 and in college, about wanting to record a song again. She looked surprised. "Dad, are you serious?" "Yeah," he said, nervous. "I know it sounds crazy." "Crazy," she smiled. "It sounds perfect. You always told me to chase my dreams. Maybe it's your turn." Her words lit a fire in him that hadn't burned in decades. But when he went online to book studio time, fear crept in. What if I fail again? What if I'm too old? What if no one listens? He almost closed his laptop until he remembered something. His younger self had written, "I'd rather fail chasing my dream than live safely without one." He hit book now. Chapter 5. The First Recording. The studio was small, old-fashioned, but to Ethan, it felt like heaven. Ryan, the young musician he'd met, offered to help him produce the track. "You sure you're ready?" Ryan asked. Ethan laughed nervously. "No, but I'm doing it anyway." The red light blinked. The mic came alive. He began to sing. I walked away from the fire I lit, afraid to burn my hands. But the flames still waited, whispering, "Come back if you can." His voice cracked halfway. His hands trembled. But the emotion, raw, honest, real, filled the room. When the last note faded, there was silence. Then Ryan clapped, his eyes shining. "Mr. Reed, that was beautiful." Ethan smiled through tears. "Guess it's never too late, huh?" Chapter 6. The Song That Changed Everything. Ryan uploaded the song to social media, naming it Unfinished Dream. At first, there were just a few likes, then a few hundred, then thousands. Comments poured in. "I'm 50 and just started painting again. Thank you for this. This made me cry. I thought my time was over. You reminded me that dreams don't expire." Within a month, the song went viral. Local news picked it up. Ethan was invited to perform. at a small concert, his first stage in 25 years. Backstage, his daughter hugged him. "Dad, I'm proud of you." He took a deep breath, looked out at the crowd, and whispered to himself, "This time I won't stop believing." Chapter 7. The Return of a Dreamer. When he stepped on stage, the crowd erupted. He saw young faces, old faces, and in every one of them, a reflection of who he used to be, someone waiting for permission to dream again. He sang from his heart. Every note carried years of regret, courage, and hope. By the end, the entire audience stood and applauded. Ethan closed his eyes, tears falling freely. He realized then that success wasn't about fame or money. It was about finishing what you started, no matter how long it took. Chapter 8. The Message That Lived On. Months later, Ethan started a foundation called Unfinished Dreams, helping adults rediscover their passions, painting, writing, music, anything that had once made them feel alive. He began speaking at schools saying, "Dreams don't come with deadlines, you do. So don't wait for the perfect time. It doesn't exist. The only time that matters is now." And every night before sleeping, he played the same song on his guitar, his reminder that it's never too late to try. Epilogue, one last note. 10 years later, Ethan stood at the same park where he first met Ryan, now a famous musician. They laughed like old friends. "Do you ever regret starting so late?" Ryan asked. Ethan smiled. "Not a single day. I might have started late, but I finished with my heart full. That's all that matters." He handed Ryan a new notebook. On the cover, it read, "Dreams for Tomorrow, Ryan 2035. Ryan looked up, smiling. "You're still writing?" Ethan nodded. "Always. Dreams never end, they just change shape." As the sun dipped below the horizon, Ethan strummed his guitar, his voice gentle but firm. It's never too late to try. Never too late to live again. Moral of the story. Dreams don't expire with age. They wait for courage. The only failure is giving up before you start. It's never too late to try again.